Today's video is about the Pokemon Indigo Disc DLC. A couple months ago I made a video about the Teal Mass DLC and how much it upset me for some reason. The story was bland, the map was small, it still ran poorly, and worst of all, Pokemon still has no voice acting. Okay, the last one I knew they weren't going to change, but you know, it's so annoying. This new DLC has me very perplexed. In one hand, I'm very impressed, and I'm glad with the improvements they made. On the other hand, I'm thinking, what the is this? So sit down, relax, and enjoy hearing me talk about the finale of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But just in case, some spoilers ahead. I won't go into deep spoilers, but you've been warned. I think I want to get the pros out of the way first because I do have a few of them. First of all, I absolutely love the setting. Unova, I mean, that's a real big thumbs up for me. It gets me really excited for what's to come. I think it was kind of like a sneak peek. I love the biome idea. I think it's a great way to put a lot of different settings in a tiny map like that. I'm totally for it. It was one of my bigger gripes for the first DLC was that a lot of the areas looked very samey, a lot of grass fields and like just one big mountain area. But with this biome location, I'm totally for it. I think it's unique. I think it's awesome. Very original, and it's good. It's very good. I like it. I like it a lot. I also love the accessibility of items. Wherever there's a healing station, there's a vending machine, and this beautiful vending machine has every item that you really need to go through the DLC. It has healing items, it has food, ingredients for cooking, and it also has some Pokemon like furs and things like that you need for crafting TMs. Yeah. Best part is that they sell like every Pokeball that you need, so you could just buy like 200 quick balls in like right there. Like, do you know how annoying it was to get quick balls in Sword and Shield? Well, honestly, it wasn't that annoying, but it also wasn't as convenient as it is in this DLC. Now that I'm thinking about it, there really wasn't that many like healing stations in the Teal Mass DLC. I remember kind of playing through it thinking, I gotta fly back to the city here to heal. But in this DLC, there's a lot of them. They're pretty abundant around the areas that you could just go and find a healing station. And there's a TM, or excuse me, there's a vending machine, and it's way more convenient. I'm totally for it. The convenience as an older Pokemon player, those are always gonna get thumbs up for me because I don't got time to be like flying around to other places to get some items that I need. I find it very convenient that they're all in one area, especially when you're there. You got to heal anyway, so it's very cool. And the battling, I'm fully on board with all battles being double battles. I think that's awesome. This is how Pokemon should be. Many of the trainers Pokemon are around level 70, and I feel like if you go in with the team that you've played through, you know, in the game or around Pokemon around level like 80, you'll have a pretty decent challenge. It's not like Radical Red challenge, but decent for a mainline Pokemon game. I really enjoyed that. In this playthrough, I opted to use some Paradox Pokemon because I had caught them in my original playthrough but never really trained through them. So I had like a level 60, 69, 70 Iron Valiant, Roaring Moon, and so I got to use Pokemon that I didn't really get to use in the playthrough that weren't necessarily over level. But they were powerful enough to really get me through the game without any issues. However, the Elite Four battles in particular are amazing, except the fire guy. He was kind of easy, but all the Elite Four members have really great typings, and they come with very powerful Pokemon, and they use strategies. They use Tailwind, and they use terrains. And I think when I was battling the Steel Elite Four member, it was raining outside, so my fire moves weren't as effective. I don't know if that's how, you know, every game, like I don't know if that was just my game or if that's really how they set up that battle, but I was all for it. I thought it was awesome. So they came prepared, and I was totally down with that extra bit of challenge. I mean, I'll do that, more of that, please. That was cool. I really appreciate that. And again, they were all double battles, which made it even more unique. I don't know what to say. I mean, these are all good things. These are all things that I thought were amazing. Also, being able to walk as your Pokemon, I cannot remember for the life of me, like synchronization I think is what's called, I'm not really sure, but when you synchro with your Pokemon and you can walk as them, very gimmicky but still really cool. I loved being able to play as them and just kind of see what their animations were as you're walking with them. But then the story, honestly, unfortunately, I am pretty torn on it. For example, I absolutely love what they did with Kiran in this DLC. I love how they set up his character arc in the first DLC and how he went from like a shy little boy to what he became in the Indigo disc. I think it's awesome, and you feel like his character actually evolved, and really they gave him good reasoning to. Jealousy or, you know, just idolization over your character, they felt like genuine responses to that, and I'm really glad they didn't shy away from somebody feeling, you know, frustrated that they're not meeting the same caliber as like your character. He even carries around receipts with him and like throws it in your face. Hey, Ogerpon chose you over me, and I loved him. Like, what do you mean, why am I so angry? Like, I thought that was really dope that he would just throws it at you. It's not my fault I'm acting this way. And he's partially right, but you know, again, it's like a morally great character, and I'm totally for it. I think it's really cool. How many other times have we gotten a story like that in Pokemon? That is really dope. It's cool. Go off, King. Kiran, very dope character. I'm glad they added that kind of I'm glad they added that storyline to this DLC, because to me it was probably the biggest highlight. I thought it was cool. His Pokemon got like way stronger. His team was very diverse. Really good rival. Very good rival. And it's cool because they didn't make him like a complete jerk, like a blue or I guess green. I don't know, but you know, they kind of like tiered the line of like buddy and like actual rival bad guy thing. Dude, perfect. But sadly, that is where my pros end for the most part, which is a decent amount. I feel like I did have, I'm happy with it. It's a very decent amount. If you are enjoying this content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. I've been gone for a little while, had vacation, and then I got sick, but I'm back now, back to the weekly grind, so expect weekly videos of Pokemon, Nintendo, and just gaming in general, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Alright, so let's go over some of the cons. I don't know if it's selfish of me to say that I feel like they did not add enough Pokemon to the DLC. It just feels like some are missing. So how I've been playing like these DLCs in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, I usually explore the entire map and try to catch as many wild Pokemon as I can, which hence the quick balls come very handy, just to try to fill up my Pokedex. And I explore the entire map, then I kind of just do the story all like at once. And I mean, maybe people like don't play like that. That's how I enjoy playing it, because I like to be able to explore the area and then enjoy the story for what it is without having to really waste time. But I think it only took me like 4 to 5 hours to really explore the entire map and catch like every Pokemon that I could find in the wild. And so when I looked at my Pokedex, I noticed that there's like 100 and something Pokemon, and it just feels like a lot of the Pokedex was boosted by the fact that they had every starter in this DLC, which is not a complaint. I'm glad that all the starters came. I think it's really cool, and it's exciting for like the meta game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm excited to see all the starters in there, but it really does just boost the numbers of your Pokédex in this DLC. I wish we received more, and I also wish we received more new Pokemon. I played Violet version, so I think there's like 6 new Pokemon in this DLC in total. 9 probably in total with the Scarlet Pokemon, you know, their Paradox Pokemon they got. But is it just me, or does 9 Pokemon not seem enough for DLC? Like, I'm open to, you know, admit that this may just be me, and 9 Pokemon is actually a lot for a DLC, but it just doesn't feel like enough. But that just might be me. My second complaint is that the game still runs like trash. I honestly don't know why I even like think that it's going to change or get better. The copium is real. I guess I had this idea in my head that because we're in a smaller map, that the game would run better since it had to load less areas and less Pokemon. But no, it still runs the same. There's still a lot of pop-in. Pokemon kind of just appear from nowhere. They're very hard to see. The frame rate's really bad. It still gives me migraines. Yeah, it's by far the worst thing about Scarlet and Violet. It's just I have trouble playing it multiple hours at a time. After about an hour or two of gameplay, I do start getting headaches, and I just feel like I have to put it down or I will get motion sickness. It's unfortunate they still couldn't fix it. We're like at the tail end of Scarlet and Violet's life, and that's never going to change. It's going to be like that forever. It's going to be like this forever. By far, my biggest complaint has to be the fumble of the story, or at least the end of the story. I don't know if it's just me, but the story just rushes to its end, and it feels completely unsatisfying. To be honest, they had me in the first half. Again, I love the Kiran arc. I like all the Elite Four members that they added to the story. I like the beef that they had and the conversations that they had with each other, their relationships. I was all for it, and it gave me an excuse to battle some really dope characters with some powerful Pokemon. But after all the Elite Four stuff, you get to the Tropicos portion of the DLC, and then they just like speed ran it for some reason. Okay, so minor spoiler. Once you fight Kiran and you go through that boss battle with him, you immediately begin the like Tropicos portion of it, the secrets of Area Zero portion of the DLC. And I mean, it's over within an hour. Area Zero receives almost no changes. You get like no new open areas where you can catch Pokemon. It's just like a hallway to Tropicos. For the most part, you're going just straight to Tropicos, and it's very disappointing. The story feels just unfinished, and you get almost like no information in Tropicos at all. I hope I'm saying his name right. I don't know. But I don't even know what he does. I don't know why he does what he can do, and I don't know where he came from. I have no idea. It doesn't explain it. The entire time I was playing the DLC, I was just waiting for them to integrate Tropicos into the DLC's like main story with Kiran. I thought that it was all kind of gonna mix together and become one, but it never came and never became that. Here is what I thought was gonna happen. In the Blueberry Academy, in the biome, on the very top of the ceiling, there's like a disco ball that gives Pokemon in that biome the ability to terrestrialize, and it gives you the ability to terrestrialize your Pokemon, including the Elite Four members. And the entire time, I thought that Blueberry Academy had caught Tropicos and were using him to power that like disco ball thing, and he was giving them the power to terrestrialize there in Unova. And I thought it was going to be like this, like they were kind of bad guys, right? And they're using this Pokemon and you had to save him, and then he was able to, you know, generate the terrestrialization power some other way. Like I just thought they were going to integrate him with that disco ball thing. Yeah, and I thought it was going to be like this whole thing where we're good guys, but we were doing this very bad thing, and you kind of had to interfere and save it. But no, it turns out that disco ball is just like water and like rocks from Paldea, and it has nothing to do with Tropicos, at least not in the way that you would think or you would hope. So in my opinion, the ending was very poorly done, and it really sucks because it does hinder the experience for me a little bit, because they had it. I felt like they had it. It felt like they were right there, and every time Pokemon feels like they're there, like they're going to do something, and they just like fumble it. I don't know why they keep doing that. I feel like they're doing it. I feel like they're doing it on purpose now. They gotta stop. So overall, the DLC is good. I'm not gonna be extremely harsh on it and say that I didn't enjoy it. I did. All right. I'm not gonna white knight the game, but overall, it's good DLC. So if you're like me and you bought like the first portion of the DLC and you're a little disappointed, rest assured that this portion of it is pretty good, and I think that most people would enjoy it. It just unfortunately hits the same problems that we're used to with Scarlet and Violet and doesn't really improve on it, but it stays there in the like very mediocre good area. But I gotta admit, man, Pokemon designs this generation have been straight fire. I love all of the Pokemon that they added to this DLC. I like all of their designs, the Paradox Pokemon, even Tropicus. Like, their design game fire. And maybe that's why I feel a little disappointed why they didn't add more Pokemon, because I really enjoy the Paradox idea, and I just wish we had more, because you know they're gonna drop this idea after Scarlet and Violet and they're not gonna make Paradox Pokemon anymore. I wish they would have just, like, you know, gave us as many as possible, because we're never probably gonna revisit this idea. Like, more legendary Paradox Pokemon would have been dope. Honestly, I would have been happy with any of them. I like them a lot, and it sucks that we're not getting more. I'm sure there's more pros and cons that I'm missing in this video, but I can't think of them right now. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think I missed. Are there pros that I forgot to mention, or are there bigger cons that I probably didn't see when I was playing the game? Again, comment, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. You know, like I said, I was on vacation for a little while, so if you haven't seen me upload, I went on a cruise. I was on a boat the whole time. But while I was on vacation, before I left, I uploaded this video about Pokemon with, you know, that were underrated in the games but really dope in the TCG, and I'll link it there. I really like that video. I've been playing the Pokemon TCG a lot recently, so I was really excited to make that video, but it didn't get the engagement that I thought it would. Maybe it's because my thumbnail's like cheeks, but please consider watching it. I think it's very interesting. I love seeing Pokemon that were pretty underrated in the game shine in the TCG. I think it's really cool, and that's what that video is all about, so it might be right up your alley. Anyways, I really appreciate it if you've gotten this far. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy your holiday season. Thank you so much. Peace.